Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Expert Legion here, and I know this is a bit different. You don't see any like horror genre or anything, but it's a game that I have been playing. It's called NeonKnight, right? It used to be paid access. I wanted to play really bad, but now it is free to play. A few weeks ago, I believe. So I've been playing it for quite a while, right? I am in love. Okay. When it comes to RPG, spot on, right? But the reason that's not why I'm making this video. No, the reason why I'm making this video is because I want to make a guide about this, right? Specifically about the skill trees in this game. Now it has a very unique skill tree, right? Different branches for different functions. Now, of course, when you look at it, you'll be very confused when you first start off playing the game, right? You would look at this and you're like, okay, I'm gonna just build whichever way I feel like building, right? Now, that's not what you want to do, right? Because there are certain things that are actually very benefit when you're playing the game. Or whether it's more money or more damage, right? Usually you want damage, so just so you can rush through and destroy enemies much easier. Of course, when you first start off the game, you have the gun license, right? It increases hotbar slot by +2, so you can equip more guns. It's a requirement. You can't do anything about that, right? You would want 2 more guns, because who wouldn't? Just in case your other gun runs out of ammo. Don't run to me and say, "Oh shoot, I didn't put skill on this. I have no more ammo." Oh, well, that's on you. Don't look at me, right? When you first start off, you can increase hotbar. Now, four of these slots will open up, right? And whichever path you pick will decide which will benefit you more, right? Each path, every single path will benefit you, of course. But because we're starting off, right? It's better to focus on which section, right? Now, personally, with me, with left side here, right? Is more on damage. Okay, I'm gonna say left side is more damage, right side is about utility. Okay, above is usually up here, right? Up in this section here is usually, I'll say, money you gain when you're playing the game. Now, I'm not talking about like currency you get, like these currency. No. It's like a different currency when you're playing the game, because you use that money to buy whatever item is in the shops as you cross over in different regions. And then the bottom down here is usually sustainable, right? Now, this, of course, is also, I guess you could say survivability, right? Because you need money. So this is so the money I was talking about up here is different, right? You gain resourceful, gears, you get corks. I'm gonna call them perk instead of corks, just so not everyone's confused, right? So that's gonna be very helpful here. Down here is usually the sustainable section, right? Because you gain ammo stuff. You gain credits as you complete, and you gain more credits from pickup. Okay, I'm getting distracted here. Let us go back to what we were talking about. Which section of the skill tree should you focus when you start off the game? Now, if you're not, of course, everyone's starting off, not everyone is skilled, right? And that's okay. Once you're skilled enough, then I won't say anything, but if you have fast reflex, okay? If you have fast reflex, then you don't really need to focus on this section up down here. But what everyone should have is inventory slots, because the more weapon you have, the better it is to dismantle the perk in that gun, and the more guns you can hold, so you can sell it for money. Money in here is carbonite, right? So you can sell for more carbonite. So every time you sell a gun, for example, here it says skill +3. So you're selling more. Now that +3 is actually from up here, I believe, swindle, so we'll slightly more. Now that's up to you. I don't have a lot of time on my hands, so having this really helps because every time I get guns, I can go back and sell it much quicker. An additional fee, basically an extra 3. So if you don't have a lot of time, I recommend going with this perk. Now if you have a lot of time, you can still get that perk, or you don't have to get that perk at all. You can just leave that blank for now, right, when you're starting off. And of course, make sure to fully level this part up. This is a requirement anyway. Then this. Now this increase active gear slot by +2. Now you probably will question, what is that? It's this. So you can have a grenade and you can have a support ability, right? So I'm gonna call that ability instead of wall buddy. Okay, that's ability. It can grant you shield, grant you speed, whatever it is. Okay, you need to have a melee weapon as well. It's very important, right? So have that have that level up. Now this, if you're finding yourself on low health and finding yourself dying a lot of times, okay, this will help you on your journey, right? This will make you more tanky. You can get you gain better healing from pickups, so that is helpful whenever you open a medic pack. This increases your health, makes you more tankier, and it's even better if you have let me show you guys. If you have this keepsake here, it increases your max health by 0.5 per room. Okay, so that makes you even more tankier, which reduces the chance of you dying, right? So up to you, okay? If you're experienced enough, okay, you don't have to go with this, but you still need to put points anyway if you want to go down here. Okay, now this is optional. Okay, it's up to you if you have gear, because this reduces cooldown for all gears. Okay, so every time you use your melee, every time you use your gear reduces your abilities and your grenade usage. So having this is helpful based on whatever abilities or grenade you have. This is reduces the stamina cost whenever you sprint. So this is very optional. It's up to you if you're building towards this. Now this equips more than one keepsake. They call keepsake in this game, but I'm gonna use more of a traditional words that RPG tend to use, which is artifacts. Right? No, I wouldn't be able to use 2 artifacts here, but I can because I have that perk. So having 2 is very much better based on whatever situation. But me personally, I'm using 2 because it helps. So that's the right side. Now let's talk about the upstate, right? Heal and special safe room, right? So this is like usually shops or at the end of a region or at the start of the region, right? This is debatable. This also helps you heal if you can make it to that room, that is, right? So with this, I only put 3, right? But it's up to you. If you're finding yourself at really low health, you can put more onto that. If you're experienced enough, then you can, it's up to you. You can put as much as like 2, 3. I think 3 is required to even have that unlocked, but yeah, I have it 3. Okay. Gear may appear in treasure chests. Now this also helps with you selling more items on carbonite. Yes, carbon. It's the blue stuff I was showing you guys. These, right? So gear may appear in treasure chests. Now this, now of course, if you like to have, if you don't have a lot of time, right? Which I don't. This would help selling with more carbonite, or unless if you want more gear to invest into crafting your own weapon, then yeah, this also helps. Now with this over here, Kingslayer, right? Additional rewards from chests. So it's based on different tiers. So there's 5 tiers, right? 5 skill points. When first will be XP and money. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing additional, right? And then once you have the 4, it gives you more carbonite. Once you have the level 5, it gives you flux. You gain more as you play special dives, which are these right down here. They give you daily flux and daily XP. Right, flux is what you use to upgrade your guns, and EXP, I don't need to explain what EXP does, you already know. Right, Next up we have here, quirks are basically perks on guns, which are these things right here, like swift, dazing, draining, whatever the perk description is, doesn't matter. But this really helps if you're smashing like explosive barrels, right? It will have the chance of dropping. I recommend maxing this out if you're investing into gun crafting, because gun crafting is very beneficial because you can craft strong guns with good perks, right? You want good perks. Now, usually when you're starting off, you don't want to put too much perks into a gun, because as you level up, you would need to get a new gun. Now you can put flux into a new gun to increase its level, to increase its stats, right? But you can only do that limited time before you have to throw that gun away and get a new one from playing the game, right? But still invest into this. Reason is you have it stack up, you have it ready, so when you're at a minimal level where you want to craft a gun, then invest into this, and then you'll have a lot of perks ready to be used. Now, swindle, like I said already, you don't have a lot of time, invest into this. You sell more, you sell guns to get more carbonite quicker, right? Now, smooth talker, this will, you will have the ability to reroll region shops with new items, discounting items. Now, what are region shops? You know, when you play the game, you cross over like basically vendor shops in that region, right? This is optional. That's up to you. I have it on 1. It's because so I can reroll the shop, right? So I can get new items. But if you put it to 5, you get discount every time you refresh. So in the long terms, it's better to have this up to max. Only reason is because the more artifacts you have, the better it is. It will help you in battle, right? So that covers that part. Now, this is a skill that I do not recommend. Well, I mean, it's up to you. It's very debatable. Chance to instantly sync items when first pick up. So when it comes to NeonKnight, when you play the game, when you die, okay, so let's say you pick up a gun, okay, and you die in that region, that gun is lost forever, right? You don't get it because you die. With this perk, it increases the chance to instantly sync that item when first picked up. So instead of dying, you have a chance of picking that item up, and when you die, you still keep the item, right? So that's what it is. And that covers that part up. So that's the top tree. Now we go into the bottom tree, right? So gain credits at the start of dive currents, 25 credits. This is optional. It's just based on RNG as well as how much money you gain when you play that region. I have it on 3 right now, right? But you can gain more. You can gain probably, I don't know, based on whatever percentage it is, you can gain more money, right? This is very optional. If it's up to me, I'll leave it probably like either 4 or 5. But because I'm focusing on other skills, not focusing on that right now. But that part is up to you guys. You can do whatever you want with it, right? Every time you start off a dive, you gain credit. That's all it is. Whatever you do with it, you do with it. Okay. Next up, this is good to have maxed out. I do not care what you say, okay? I do care, but in this case, I do not care. Have this maxed out. Why? Because you gain more credits from pickup. The more credits you have, the more items you have on your playthrough, right? And that it proven to be very helpful. Unless RNG God is with you, then yeah, you can have this as low as you want. But that part right there, to be honest, that's up to you to decide. I have it on max because it helps me in my runs. This part is optional. So every time you finish a region, not finish each room, finish region, you gain credits. Now, I have it on 1 right now because it's honestly pretty horrible. Because you have to finish that region to get that credit, right? But This is also debatable because every time you finish a region, that is if you survive, you gain money every time. Because you don't gain money at the end, right? I mean, you kill the boss, you gain money off of his dead body, but then when you get to the next region, you don't gain anything. I mean, besides weapons, the weapon chest, but that's it. So this is also debatable if you want to go for survivability using items in the game, right? So that covers that part. If you have any questions about this, let me know in the comments. I'm also debating whether or not to spend more points into that. Resistance casing, chance for enemies to drop ammo. Okay, the ammo economy in this game is interesting, right? Because if you're using a sidearm, you'll find yourself running out of ammo pretty quickly, right? Using your melee to kill enemy also drops ammo, but this increases the chance of them to drop ammo. I'm putting 2 into this as of right now. Only reason is because you need 2 to unlock the rest of the skill tree down here, as you can see, because I have one there. But this is optional for you. If you're finding yourself running out of ammo pretty quickly, invest into that, right? So that covers that part. Something extra. Chests have a chance to drop a lesser shop items or other drops. So whenever you open a chest, there will be like an interaction where you can click E on it. It will drop additional items. It can be items, it could be guns, it could be anything. Like everything that you can possibly imagine. I'm probably gonna invest into this, but right now, as you can see, 0 skill point. But to be honest, if you want my opinion, I would recommend you guys to invest this into 5 points. Why? Well, I mean, don't you want more items and, you know, a chance of getting whatever, and I mean whatever, coming out of it, right? So that covers that part. Plan E, excess health, convert to ammo. Now this really helps, okay? Now, since every time you start off a dive in a space room, right, you gain health. Or whenever you get to a safe room, you gain health, right? With this, if you have max health already, this will convert into ammo, which is really good if you're finding yourself running out of ammo a lot of times. So I would invest at least 1 point into this, but if you're finding yourself to use a lot of ammo, put a lot of points into that more. Okay. Now reboot. Unspent credit will give flux at the start of each region. Now this is really good because I am out flux a lot of times, right? So having this would actually really help. If you don't spend a lot of credit, or you have, you know, when you start off a region, or at the end of the region, you have that amount of credit you have left, right? And then with the with the corroborate token, I believe this counts, right? These 2 perks synergize, so you gain credits at the end of the region, right? But unspent credit will give flux at the start of each region, so you gain credit at the end region, but when you start a new region, you gain flux. So I'm probably gonna invest into this, and I also recommend you guys also investing into that as well. Okay, so that's the end of the bottom tree. Holy cow, there's a lot of talking. Right, I know. I don't have any water left, but we'll do what we can do. Okay. Now we have the left section, the cover. And the left section, I will call the damage section. Now, this is the section that you want to, you know, it's speed and experience and damage. So when it comes to speed here, light-footed, right? Increase your movement speed by 2.5%. With this game, like, okay, if you don't have a lot of time, then sure, put points into speed, okay? If you got time, then I don't recommend you putting into this. Okay? It's just increase your movement speed. Doesn't do anything much. It's situational, right? I'm not saying that you don't put into it, but it's just however much speed you need. It's optional to you, to be honest. I have it on 2. I'm not putting any more into it though. But yeah, that's movement speed. Then fast learner, I'd recommend you guys to max this out. This really helps with your journey you gain more experience. As you can see, it says in the description right there, gain more experience. So have that maxed out 100%. If you don't have that maxed out, I don't know what you're doing. Okay, but 100% have that maxed out because you can level up much quicker. Next up, we have Fresh Shot. Deals additional damage for 3 seconds after switching weapons. Now, I have this on 1. Why 1? Honestly, I do not recommend you to put points into that. Don't put points into this section. Okay, it's honestly horrible because half the times, do you switch weapons or do you keep using that one weapon? I mean, it's very situational. But with me, I find myself using one weapon most of the time when I'm running. But this is optional to you. Okay, I believe it increases the timer and increases damage. Sorry, no, it says current 10 damage, so it only increases the damage when you switch weapons. But this is very optional. It's up to you. Breeder, increase total stamina charge. Now with me, I'm pretty experienced enough, so I don't need to put additional stamina charge to dodge. As long as you have good reflex, you don't need this. But if you're finding yourself getting hit a lot of times, then I recommend putting into that, right? It's up to you, but it does cut a lot of skill points. You can see it because you have to put 5 into that to even get to that. But that covers that part. But if you're a quite experienced player, then I don't recommend putting to this. Yeah. Next up, we have Rally Runner. Deals additional damage during a dash. Now, if you want some like insane gameplay, like you dodging left and right, dealing more damage, 100% put into that. If you find yourself dodging a lot of times, put into this. Because while you're dodging, you can shoot, which deals more damage. I'm putting 4 into this as of right now because I'm still considering other skill taps that I want to invest into. But if you, of course, this game is all about dodging and you want to dodge the enemy. But yeah, I have it into 4 right now. But it's up to you if you want to max it out. Next up, we have Brawler. Now this is really good. I recommend investing into this. Increased damage per enemy in very close proximity. So the more enemies there are, the more damage you get. That sounds spicy. Am I right? I'm not wrong. Am I right or am I right? I know. But this increases damage per enemy in close proximity. So if you're playing on very hard difficulty, which has enemy, the enemy density in there is insane. So having this really helps with damage dealing. So I do not care what you say. Okay, I mean I do care what you say, like I said previously, but invest into that, max it out. Okay. Next up we have Tactical Flourish. Increase dash and slide distance. Now I don't recommend you investing into this. Why? Because half the time you'll be sprinting. And most of the time you want to be close to your enemies to deal damage instead of dashing too far away, because there are damage fall ops on guns. Okay. And range as well, accuracy based on whatever guns you're using. Right. With me, I'm using shotgun most of the time. Okay. In shotgun, I'm still debating on guns, but most of the time I'm using shotgun. So increasing dash and slide distance, if I put points into that, I will slide further away, and that makes me lose time on damage dealing. Okay. So I don't recommend putting on that. But if you're a sniper, you're playing assault rifle, medium range, long range, then I guess you can invest into that to dodge away much easier. And if you have like certain perks on guns that requires you to be far away to deal damage, then yeah, invest into that. Only if the enemy doesn't chase you, that is. Right. Next up we have Last Stand. Now this is really good, right? I recommend investing into this at least 5 points, because you need 5 points to unlock this tab up here anyway, but I'll get to that. Now what does Last Stand? At critical health, gain immunity and heal once. So when you're low, super low, it will give you God mode and it will drop you health. You pick that health up, you keep fighting. Right? It's like second chance, but that's it. When that second chance is done, the next time when you're low on health, you will die. So be careful of that. But I recommend getting this because there are a lot of times I mean, we're humans, we make errors, right? It doesn't matter if you experience or not. There will be times where you like accidentally do something dumb and you die. So having this level up really helps continuing the fight. Okay. Next up we have mech veterancy. View the health number of your enemies. More damage. Okay. You can view the health of the enemies. Right. This helps because it increases damage. Okay. I believe you can already see like their health bar under, so I don't know what this does, but I hear damage. I'm 100% investing on that, and it only takes 1 skill point, so that's good. So yeah, invest into this. Or not invest, just put a point into that. And mech precision, the ability to view enemy weak spots, more crit damage. Now this helps because you can actually see where the enemy crit spots are. It highlights. It's like a prism. It looks exactly like this, but it's on the enemy. It'll let you know where the enemy crit spot is. Because when you start off the game, you don't know where the enemy crit spot is. Some of them anyway. Some are quite obvious. Some are just bona fide, God knows where. So invest into this. You gain more crit damage, means more damage. Which, yay. Which means you can progress into different regions. So that covers up on mech precision. Now, idle. Reduces hitbox size. Right? Now this is situational. Okay. This actually reduces. So you know when the enemy hits you, right? And you're standing in that red box, that it's not a chance, it's a guarantee. Like when there's a chance of you not getting hit. Like for sure. Because it reduces your hitbox, right? When you think you're gonna get hit, you're not gonna get hit because your hitbox has been reduced. Sometimes I find myself getting hit, but of course this is, you don't see it, right? It's pretty hard to tell, but you don't see it, but it's there. I've invested into this, but it's up to you if you want to invest into it or not. It reduces the hitbox, that's all it does. But overall, that is it for the skill tree. If you have any questions, feel free to head into the comments, or if you want, I do have a Discord channel in my YouTube banner. It should be in like the bottom right. But I'll put a description. I'll put the Discord link in the description. So if you have any more questions, I'm still learning about this game. There's a lot of things I still have to uncover. But yeah. If you find this video helpful, please hit that like button, and if you're new around here, please hit that subscribe button as well. I really appreciate you guys' support, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.